as a business coach. I've been spending a couple of years really questioning what creates success in your business and what does that actually have to do with money and creating money overflow or wealth from your business, like going into six figures, seven figures, multi six figures, or whatever. Is that how much does that have to do with your business and how much does that have to do with the consciousness? And as a business coach, which, a business is really about creating money, right? But I know from own experience and with all my clients that success is an inner job. It's a work you do on yourself to change your content of your consciousness that creates cash, that creates a success, that creates the clients. So it's actually not the business itself that creates that. And oops, let me just adjust it so I can see the chat better. Okay, so yeah, that should do. So it's two separate things, right? It's like your consciousness create cash, like the dominant, whatever the dominant desire in your consciousness is what you will automatically manifest. And to me, that you can do that. You can manifest money without having a business. But some of us are called to do a business. And some of us, just do a business for other reasons, which I will get into. But when you have a business, your business serves as a conduit for money flowing into your life. So you want your business to be like a clear conduit, like a conduit that has no obstacles in it. And you also want it to be, I want to use the word potent conduit, like oh wait, there's some new information coming in here. I always have this picture in my mind of like a pipe, from whatever, something, and then money flowing to it into your business, through your business to you. And that pipe, you want it to be, I don't even know the word, like a potent pipe, like a maybe an amplification pipe, like a lightning rod maybe is a good picture of it. Anyway, what I have noticed also over the years is that a lot of people who have created successful coaching business also has that business collapse on them. And also even in other businesses, that are not necessarily coaching businesses, but they have had a great business, it collapses on them. I'm certainly one of them. And in hindsight, it's like one of the best things that could happen to me, but it hasn't always been pleasant, right? So why does this happen? And this takes me into the why of your business. So in hindsight, I have realized that my motivation for creating a successful business and coaching business, and I was making 50,000 cash per month, and that's euros, 50,000 euros per month for a while. It was motivated by my need to feel I had value, my need to feel I wanted to prove to myself that I could, that I had it in me. And once I got into a coaching container with some of my coaches, the more money I made, the more approval they gave me, the more, the more I felt I had value. And it was like kind of in the end, I created my business partly for all the wrong reasons, which is the ego content, the ego stories, the shadows. And for me, there was an enormous fear, like a pervasive, I can't even begin to put words to how much fear I had of not making money. And so when my business started collapsing again, I decided I'm just going to let it, because I was tired of fighting myself in order to make money. And it led me into some really deep purging of ego content and uncovering where does this insane fear of never making money come from? I mean, it was really this fear of not having money, not being able to make money, not having money. That was driving me, and it has been for my whole life, because there's big parts of my life I was on welfare for a while, and I was living below the poverty level more than once in my life. So which, no judgment about it, this is just my life story, doesn't matter, I didn't die, nobody suffered, etc. But I uncovered in my subconsciousness, deep buried in my consciousness, a whole bunch, think of them as scripts. And these were like, a script is like for a theater play or a movie. You have the script, this actor says this actor said that, now this action happens, now this happens. And I had several of these scripts sitting in my subconscious that were basically making me repel any money. Basically made me repel money. And so somehow those scripts, somewhere, somehow I had, I knew, because you kind of always know, even if you don't know, that they were there, that the dominant desire in my consciousness was to keep money away from me. So of course, I was always terrified of not making money. And when I went into this time period where I just decided, okay, I got to figure this out. I don't want to spend the rest of my life fighting myself to make money. And it's like I'm going off on a tangent here. Once you realize that everything is manifested the same way, it's like you manifest lack of money effortlessly, you manifest a lot of money effortlessly, right? It's exactly the same thing. And when I was manifesting 50,000 a month, it was absolutely effortless. Just happened automatically. I didn't have to do anything special, right? So it's all consciousness creates. It's like the dominant desire. And so that was great when I was having this desire, right? But there was an underlying scripts in my subconscious that made me repel money. And one of them, which I'm going to share here, is that I have made a promise to myself to forfeit my own life in order to support somebody else. Did it way back before I was probably even conscious of it, but it's like definitely childhood thing. And the interesting thing, it's like this is where you begin to see when you do this, this very deep work, how it all fits together. The interesting thing is that the time period I made all that much money was during the lockdowns, the COVID lockdowns, right? So it was perfect, because at that time I could not have a life because I was in lockdown. And as soon as the lockdown started lifting, I started repelling money again. And so it was like just one of many stories I uncovered about, why it is best for me not to have money, like religious vows, It was like all kinds of crazy stories that I have been acting out without knowing it over the years. So what drove me to making money. And this is the why. It's like this insane fear of not having money. And it led me to that when I was with my coaches, that it really helped get me to that 50,000 a month and more. I just gave it all to them, because that was my safety net. And I actually came out of that whole period with like more debts than I had going into that, even if I'm making a ton of money, because I kept giving my money to them so that I could be assured that I would keep making money and not come back to ending up moneyless again, right? Because I had these scripts in my subconsciousness. So I am saying this because whatever reason you come into, wanting to create business success with, it's like always a conduit for money. So there's a lot of money stuff tied up with it. So that's one part, right? And I don't even care where your starting point is. Like now I really know what to look out for. And I can address all these like script reasons you have for repelling money, if they come up, if you start working with me. So it's not a problem. And if you don't address them though, it's like you're either going to struggle to have your business take off and create an income, or you're going to create a lot of income and then it's going to collapse. And I know there's people who have had 7-figure businesses, 8-figure businesses, it collapsed, right? Because it was based on wrong reasons, like ego reasons, like fear-based reasons. And it's not sustainable, right? Because then you get into like always have to fight yourself. You have to fight your fear. You have to fight the part of you that has these scripts that always tries to sabotage you and trip you up or whatever. Now, there's another reason for having a business, and this is, the heart of the matter for me, which is your genius. So people like this, people who are called to the genius business are people typically for whom their business is a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual journey. It's a path home to God. It's a journey of personal transformation, growing into the power, growing into, who they truly are. They do that through their business. And this is the kind of person I personally really love to work with, right? Because, yeah, like me. So for me, my business has been about money, but if it was just about money, I could have taken a job, right? And that would have taken care of all my money worries, or at least enough that, it didn't have like a whole year of daily panic attacks. But it was never really a thing for me to take a job because it was always this drive in me to create a business. And the business was always about what I was going through myself, what I had learned in personal transformation. So it was always really beautiful about, it's like when I learned about chakras and I, taught about chakras, when I got into natural health because my own health programs, then I ended up, creating a school of natural health that ran for 12 years. And so I was always called to a business since, I don't know, back in the early 90s. It's a long time ago. It's more than 30 years ago when I first began to have that urge, when I left academia. I went right into like being a massage therapist, and then I started doing workshops and did a little bit of that, astrology and, various things, lectures, weekend workshops. That was a thing back then. And through it all, right, there has never been any doubt in me that a business was the right thing for me. I always knew, right? And so some of us, we are just called to have a business, and we have to honor that call, because then that becomes our journey of, out of ego into genius, out of the matrix into truth, from human to God, from wounded to powerful. There's many ways of describing this journey. So when you're called to do your business, it's a pressure inside. There's something that matters so much to you that you want to get it out into the world. Like it feels right. The thought of working for somebody else, it's like, yeah, you can do it. But for me, at least, the few times I've taken a temporary job, it's like I always know better than my boss how to run these things. And, I'm not afraid to share it. So it was just fit, I have to do my own thing in my own way. And that's the key, right? Because your business becomes the place where you express what matters. It's like where you meet the world, where you put yourself into the world and reveal yourself to the world. And yes, it's a journey, but it's also it's almost like an artist that has to do art, right? It's like I often think of our business, when we are coming from such a place that our business is our art. We have to do it. Just like an artist cannot not create their art, whether it's selling or not. Some of us, we just have to do our business. And then we come from this place where it's a calling, um, rather than avoiding something, which is, like in my case, it was really, avoiding, going deep into my fear and finding the source of that, and deal with the fear, which, now I'm making money now, I don't have to worry about the fear anymore. And I was just, yeah, slap me in the face again. But there's, when you have that calling for a business, there's something that wants to come through you. And that's what I call the genius, right? It's like your divine genius. It's giant. It is something that matters to you. It is who you are. It's the purest essence of you. And it matters. It matters. And it also matters, because what I have seen is like what matters that much to you is also sometimes the hardest thing to do in business. And because I'm able to see, people's genius and what they really hear about, it's like I can see that a lot of people, they tend to come close, but they don't. It's like, even for myself, I know that stepping fully into my genius is hard. And it's still like what is driving me for, to keep doing this business is that this is what matters to me. It matters to me that I help people create their genius business. But you'll see me, or you'll have seen me in the past, if you've been around for a while, and you're being overdoing other things, working with money and codes of consciousness, which is certainly all interwoven with the genius business. But whereas a fear-based business will always collapse, or it will cost you a lot to continue because you'll always be fighting yourself on some level. It's like there is a beauty and a release and a relief in once you come into a genius, because it's just submitting to truth. It's like freedom, right? You are not fighting truth anymore. So it becomes sustainable. It's like, I think of it like with all the businesses I've seen collapsing or know of collapsing, it's like when your business is built of fear, of avoidance, it's like a castle in the air, right? It doesn't have a foundation, it's hanging in the air, and you can't sustain it, right? It's going to collapse. Whereas when you build your business from the truth, this is really what the calling for, why you're called to create your own business, the truth. If you plant yourself deeply in that truth of your genius, who you are, what you're here to do, which is, by the way, extremely precise and exact. It's solid foundation. And that's this like the why you're doing your business matters, right? Because if it comes from a place of fear and lack, oh, I have to make money and I don't have to make money, or I know that, oh, I worked in corporate and I don't like it and I can't stand it, I want my own business. It's like getting away from something. It's like the wrong reason, right? And it's going to collapse. It doesn't have a strong foundation of truth, like solid truth. Once you come into your genius, it's going to be really solid foundation. You are standing on solid ground, and having your feet planted on that solid ground is going to give you so much strength and so much discipline and so much resilience, right? Because you planted your feet firmly on the ground of truth. And once you're there, you are immovable, implacable, indomitable, right? You're there. This is what matters to you. And that strength is, it's like closely tied in with your power of manifestation. It's like suddenly infuses your business, and even like, talked about the conduit for money, like infuses it with so much powerful energy, right? It's like this like massive power arises in you, dragon power, right? It arises in you and it flows into your business, and people are going to pay attention. It's like, whereas a business that comes from all the wrong reason, yes, you might be able to infuse that power into it sometimes, but it's not sustainable. It will collapse, it will disappear, because ultimately the strongest desire in your consciousness is to keep money away from you, right? Or not succeed in your business, or whatever it is. Like, everybody has a different, there's many different reasons. That, like I just shared mine, which was very, very tightly associated with money itself. Business success, no problem. Money, that's where I had to do all my work. So that infusion of potency, it's like makes everything about your business so energetically potent. And that's when you become a lighthouse, an energetic lighthouse in a sea of light bulbs, right? Because energetically, potently, you stand out. And when I think back, when I had my biggest year, before the whole thing collapsed, like thankfully it collapsed. Otherwise, I would still have been here, like fighting myself like crazy to make money. Before it collapsed, I had like a year of like 500,000, and it was created just with Facebook and PayPal. That's all I had, right? But the potency, because even if it was based on, fear, the desire was pure and strong. And it's like I was able to temporarily infuse so much potency and energy into this desire to create money, and my consciousness created cash. Even if collapsed, later, that was still there. So I got to taste it. I got to see how easy it is to manifest cash, even of those huge numbers. I mean, I would never have dreamed I could even, get up to 50,000 a month, and how easy it was. How easy it was once I got there. So where was I going with this? I forgot. Anyway, so the why of your business matters so much. Why do you want to have a business? Why do you want to make money? Because ultimately, yes, you can start for the wrong reason, but what I did, once I got to these big numbers, and I just refused to look deeper into myself, in order to continue. I said, okay, I have done enough work on myself. And, I have a couple of colleagues where I have they had the same experience, right? They also say, okay, I've done enough inner work on myself. So we never really addressed the underlying thing so that we could actually turn our castle into the castle in the air for our business, turn it into a castle with a strong foundation, right? And this is what I see happening. So I don't care if you start with the wrong motivation, the wrong why, but because that can be your portal into the right why, which is like your genius, the truth that matters to you. It's like your purest self-expression. And it's like that's so when people talk about the why of a business, it's about serving people or want to make an impact, or I want to make money. But I would say that for those of us for whom business is a personal transformation journey, your business is about you. It's about you becoming more purely you. It's about you becoming the most powerful version of yourself. It's about you shedding everything that's not true and just coming back and finding the truth. And talking about why, the why of your business, I got to thinking the other day that what are really my priorities for my business, What matters most in my business? And it's the same list of priorities. I don't know where it come from, but, it's like something, I got from somebody else, that in my solid business, which I had to do the whole dramatic, build a big business, have it collapse, digging into my deepest money stories in my subconscious, and expose them and purge them. It's like where I've arrived to, that number one priority in my business is God, right? So how can I make my business Godwards? Like, how can I move my business towards God? And to me, that's your divine giant genius, because it's coming from a divine place. It's a divine truth. It's so much more potent than your human truth, and it's pure. And it's when you have experience, you know it. It's like music. I could tell you everything about music, but until you hear music, you can't really know what music is, right? So it's the same thing with your genius. Once you know it, you just get that is truth that goes beyond the human. So number one is God. It's like, I want my business to be about experiencing God, to feel God in my life. And number two is me, right? My business is about me. It's about my journey. It's about my self-expression. It's about what matters to me. Number three is you. My audience, my clients. How can I serve you? How can I give you value? How can I best help you, get to your genius, create your genius business empire, because it's going to be so beautiful and so magical and so it's just so yummy and beautiful conduit for money to flow into you, because submission to genius implies, giving up all resistance to money. So if you want to have a genius business, you actually have to be willing to receive a lot of money. And then number one is God, number two is me, number three is you, number four is money. Because I know that why of my business, if that's focused on God, me, and you, the money will take care of itself, right? Automatically manifest when that's the strongest desire, but not conscious desire, right? When you stop resisting money, I'll come. It's just like abundance is our birthright. It's our divine state of being. And lack, fear-based lack, yeah, that's artificial, that's ego created. So number 1, God, number 2, me, number 3, you, number 4, money. But if you think about it, for most people, it's the other way around, right? And I get it, because when you scroll through social media, you will see that most business coaches focus on the money and how to get money through a certain methodology or formula or strategy or tactics or whatever. And I get it, right? Because it's an ego hook. It's a hook into your ego. And so it becomes all about money. That means like number 1 priority, it becomes money. And then another thing you often hear, why do you want to do business, right? I want to have an impact. It's like that becomes number, then you become number 2, right? And then you want to make money for ego-driven reasons, like you see what other people have achieved. You are afraid what the future is going to be, so you want to make sure you have a lot of money in your savings account to do it, or you want to make this is like the bills need to be paid, or it's like all fear and lack. So it becomes all very, very selfish. It doesn't become about self-expression, but it comes about me, like neediness, basically, fear-driven neediness. So, and then number 4 then becomes God. So it's like flipping that thing around. It's like when you put God and yourself first and make your business about your spiritual journey, your pure self-expressions, and then the audience, and then money is going to take care of itself. It's like that's a business based on faith in truth and not fear, right? There's just like, yes, this is truth. I trust that, I have my own back, because one of the things I had to face, I didn't trust myself to make money because proof was my whole life, right? Because I had these scripts in my subconscious that was like, that made sure from deep in my subconscious that I repelled money. Or it's just as easy for me to make money. So yeah, I couldn't trust myself to make money because I repelled it, right? And I knew that. And it's like a terrifying thing to come across. But in the submission to your genius, and the calling that, okay, I'm called here to do this, my exact genius, and not this, and not this, and this that's almost my genius, but not quite my genius. Or maybe this over here because somebody said I was good at it, that has been my experience, that I have done things because somebody told me I should because I was really good at it, right? No, that's not it. It's not going to last. It's not going to be sustainable. There's no staying power. And you know how people say that, you should do what lights you up, what makes you excited. Well, the thing is, excitement lasts for a while and then it fades, right? So then you have to constantly seek excitement, seek excitement, seek excitement, seek excitement in your business, Whereas if you base your business in truth, the truth of your giant genius, it's a truth that abides. It's like, it has such a strength. There's such a power welling up of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, just like strength that comes with it. It's like this deep, deep, deep joy that you're living truth and not like chasing money or living other people's stories or taking in data from outside that's making you all confused and lost and don't know where you should turn to for advice. It's like knowing that you're planted in your truth, there is, it's not something you will ever want to leave again because it feels so right. It feels so calm. It feels so peaceful. And you feel powerful and you know you can do it, right? So the why of your business matters. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about the what, and then the next day I'm going to talk about the how. But I want you to really think about like why are you having a business? Why are you having a business of your own? Like where's your motivation for your business coming from? And then begin to look deeper and deeper and deeper and really see like, okay, there's a part of it that's fear-based, or I need to prove myself. I want to people to like me. I'm afraid of not having the money, like you know, whatever is loyalty to my parents. There can be so many reasons. And the other part, and they could truly be mixed together, right? Like they were for me. It's like the other part is I'm called. My genius is calling me, even if I don't know what my genius is. My genius is calling me to create a business. So just give yourself some time, explore it, and see you tomorrow.